West Ham are into the fourth round of the FA Cup, and when it comes to cup competitions, result is the only thing that matters. Just make sure your name is in the hat for the next round. Job done. We beat Brentford. We're into the fourth round. But there was almost a topic that was almost overshadowing it, which is the Saïd Benrahma topic, and it's hard for it not to be, because there's still a bigger picture at play here. As soon as that game's finished last night, as happy as you are that we've won a game, you can't help but immediately turn your attention to next weekend against Wolves because of the situation we're in regarding the Premier League. Straight away you're thinking we need to now go against Wolves. You watch the Wolves game against Liverpool and probably get a bit jittery, thinking that's their second team and they're having to pop at Liverpool at Anfield. It gets you a little bit nervous for next weekend because it's a huge game in the league. And a part of that is, well, how do we get something against Wolves? How are we most likely to win against Wolves? And the domino effect is you come back to Saïd Benrahma, which is, well, he must start. And I think you then ask yourself the question, are you confident Saïd Benrahma will start next weekend? And I think for a lot of us, the answer is no, I am not. Some people will be. A lot of people will be convinced he's not. But I think the majority of us will sit somewhere in the middle, which is, he should, but I'm not confident he will. And that's certainly where I sit. And I hate that feeling. I hate the fact that we're having this conversation today, because we signed him in October 2020. Nearly 2.5 years ago, Saïd Benrahma joined West Ham on loan from Brentford. And we're still having this conversation. And this is a conversation that crops up every single month between then and now. Every month. What's the problem? Why is he not playing? What's going on? Did David Moyes even want to sign him? All those questions keep coming up. And it came up again last night for me. The team lineup come out and you thought, well, where's Benrahma? During the game you're watching, you're sat there thinking, where's Saïd Benrahma? Well, you know where Saïd Benrahma is. He's warming up. We kept seeing him warming up. The away fans calling for him, singing his name over and over until he was on the pitch. Then he came onto the pitch. And then 10 minutes later, bang, 1-0, Saïd Benrahma. In that 20-minute period he was on the pitch, he was our most direct player, our most threatening player, the player that scored, someone that had something. Because the 70 minutes prior to Saïd Benrahma entering the field, we created one chance. And that was Emerson's cross for Souček. One chance is all we created in 70 minutes. And football was not good. Just because we won, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, the tactics were bang on, the football was brilliant. In fact, David Moyes has even said it wasn't very pretty, in that he thought we played better against Brentford when we lost 2-0. In terms of football on the eye, it's hard to disagree, to be honest with you. I get what he's saying. But for 70 minutes, there was just nothing to be excited about. The football wasn't great. There was no chances being created. Benrahma comes on, 1-0. And it is an individual goal. We can't rely on them. It's nice to see them. Of course it is. We saw one from Skamaka against Leeds as well. But I always think that that's something in football you cannot rely on. You can't go into a game going, well, how are you going to win this one, Gaffer? Well, someone is going to step up and hit it from 20 yards and we're going to score. It's not something that's reliable. But anyway, Benrahma come on, made an impact. As soon as that final whistle went through, there was that element of, well, what now? Is he going to start against Wolves? And he has to. Benrahma has to start against Wolves. Is Benrahma our best player? In terms of footballing ability, I think if we all had to vote for Ham of the Year today, I imagine Benrahma would win it. Second would be Declan Rice, and I think third would be Lucas Fabianski. That's just my vibes. That's how I pick it up. But I think Benrahma would win it. But is he our best player in terms of just footballing ability? I don't think he is, no. Is he our most consistent player? No. Is he a consistent player? No, he's not. Even in 90 minutes of football, he could play 90 minutes and go missing for half an hour very, very easily. Is he frustrated? Oh, of course he is. It's not like I don't understand why Moyes gets frustrated with him sometimes. Even this season, he's improved a lot this season compared to last season. But I've still seen him jump out of 50-50s. I've still seen him switch off defensively and not track back. When we were playing Arsenal, Ben White was just constantly going past him. He didn't even know where he was at times. So, is he consistent? No, he's not. Is he frustrating? Yes, he is. When he cuts inside and hits that curler that flies high and wide and there's possibly better options on in terms of passing to his teammates, I get why Moyes gets frustrated. But if we were to play Wolves next week, is Saïd Benrahma the player most likely to score? Possibly. I think him and Skamaka are. Is Saïd Benrahma the player most likely to get an assist against Wolves? Again, I would suggest so, most likely. If West Ham had a fully fit squad and everybody was in form, would Benrahma get into our first 11? I'm not even sure he would, you know. But this is the point. They're not all fully fit. Cornet's unavailable. and they're not all in form. I think Jared Bowen has been really, really good since the World Cup break. That 3 Premier League games, I think he's looked great in all 3 of them. I'm hoping that continues and he starts to pick up goals and assists, but at the minute he hasn't picked any up. Saïd Benrahma has, in just 20 minutes against Brentford. At the minute, right now, he is our most threatening player. He's the one that the crowd expect to deliver, hope to deliver. And he has to start against Wolves because we need to win next Saturday. And to increase our chances of winning, Saïd Benrahma must be in that starting 11. Now, I get why he didn't start against Brentford. I heard David Moyes, when the lineup come out, there was an element of, oh, where is he? And it's not that strict, it's not black and white, but I'm going to discuss it as if it is. So he didn't start last night. I've heard Moyes' comments, which is because of the formation. We debated putting Benrahma up front, and we opted not to. I get it. It makes sense. I think Saïd Benrahma's best position is to the left in like a 4-3-3. Not a 4-2-3-1 because it pushes him further left. But just to the left of a striker, I think that's his best position. Where he played for 20 minutes last night, I think that's where he's best. Where he's off the touchline a little bit, can cut inside, there's not much congestion in there. But on the left, so he's got a one-on-one opponent with the right back. I like him out there. Now, a lot of people prefer him in the number 10 role. I get it. It's not my personal preference. I think it becomes a bit too congested. I think Benrahma is somebody that likes to take 3, 4, 5 touches on the ball before he gets rid of it. And I don't think you get that time in the middle of the pitch. I think it's too busy in there for him. But I understand why people like it. But regardless whether you prefer him on the left or in the number 10 role, we didn't play with either last night. We started the game with like a 5-3-2 formation. We didn't have anybody playing either of those positions. So Benrahma's position last night didn't exist with the starting formation. Now, whether you think the starting formation was correct or not is by the by. The position did not exist. So I get why Moyes didn't start him and he opted for Jared Bowen up front alongside Mikel Antonio, because if we need a striker and Antonio and Scamacca's injured, it's going to be Jared Bowen. So it makes sense to give him time and experience up there and see what he can do up there. Turned out not a lot, but I got it. But in the second half we changed. Paqueta came out of centre midfield. We went more 3-4-3. Now all of a sudden there was a position for Jared Bowen. Now there was a position for Saïd Benrahma. But we had to wait. We had to wait until the 70th minute, and for 10-15 minutes prior, the away fans were constantly singing his name. I mean, that must give Benrahma a buzz, right? When he's warming up in the touchline, all they can hear is the away fans constantly singing his name, chanting for him. Big cheer when he comes on, and then he delivers, scores the goal, and it's a case of he justifies the support he's got from the away end. Benrahma must be buzzing off it. But I got it. I got why Moyes didn't play. The game previous, however, and this is why it's not black and white, because his position was there when the team came out against Leeds. And I've said it before a few times, this is the last time I say it, but I genuinely thought we were going to be playing like a 3-5-2 in that game, because I thought, well, there's no way Kerr's left back, and this would explain why Saïd Benrahma's not starting, because there isn't a position for him. We're playing centre midfielders and strikers and that's it. But that wasn't the case. But certainly not how I seen it. I've seen a couple of people say they thought Fornals was left wing back and we played a back 3. Not really how I saw it. I thought Kerr was left back and it was a 4-3-3. I thought Paqueta and Souček were quite inside deck from Moyes, and Fornals was out on the left. That's how I saw it. Fornals was in Benrahma's position against Leeds. That's how I saw it personally. So my frustration grew as the game went on. I thought, hang on a minute, why is Benrahma not playing? And at half time, there was nothing I wanted more than to see Souček come off and Fornals go in midfield and then Benrahma come on in his usual position. But again, we had to wait. He only got on 10 minutes, didn't make an impact. But he struggled to make an impact because we were so defensive for that last 10-15 minutes against Leeds. It was unbelievable. He was always going to struggle in that formation setup. But last night, while I understood Moyes' exclusion of him, it's the domino effect, isn't it? That's 2 games now where he's not started, and this is a frustrating thing for me because he's shown in 20 minutes. He's had half an hour of football in the last 180 minutes available, and he's been one of our most influential players despite only playing half an hour. He has to start against Wolves. Now, Moyes' comments after the game, a couple of them are, one of them, do you know something? He didn't necessarily describe Benrahma as an impact sub. He said, you need players to come off the bench, can make an impact. And I agree with him. Do you know something? I'm not actually going to say that what Moyes has said there is shocking. I think he's bang on. You do need players that can come off the bench and make an impact. I don't want it to be Saïd Benrahma, but I think you do need to have people that you can consider as game changers, that you need a goal, that you've got a little bit of confidence that says, actually, I'm going to bring you on now because I'm confident you're going to go on and do just that, make an impact, change the game. And this is why I think we need a striker in the January transfer window, because I don't have that confidence with Michail Antonio. If Scamacca started up front, Benrahma on the left, Bowen on the right against Wolves, and we're struggling for a goal, who's coming off the bench? I don't see Antonio, I don't see Fornals warming up and think, brilliant, they're gonna come on and change the game. So I agree with him. We need an impact sub. It's fine, it's a fair comment. But it can't be, you can't leave players out your starting 11 just because they might deliver something in the last half hour when you bring them off the bench. I think you pick your strongest 11, and then because you've got such a good squad, because you've assembled a squad that actually the players that you still don't select are able to come on and do something. And I think that's my problem with it. But in terms of the comment Moyes made, I don't actually have an issue with it. I think it's a fair one. The one thing that did frustrate me a little bit was when he was speaking about Saïd Benrahma, and he said, no, I'm not going to quote direct, I wrote it down, but I might have worded it slightly wrong. Go check it out for yourself. But he said he needs to be more of a team player and find teammates a bit more. And he basically suggested that sometimes he makes the wrong decisions and he could be passing to his teammates a bit more. And I think a year ago I would have completely agreed with that. I would have said, yeah, that's fine. But this season, I'm not having that, actually. I think Benrahma has improved a lot between this season and last season. I think he's become... last season he was Saïd Benrahma, and it was quite selfish at times. It was like, I'm going to go in and do this, and it was, much as we wanted to see more, you could understand why Moyes was reluctant to play him. But this season, I'm not having it. I think he has improved a lot. I think he's almost become more of a David Moyes player than he was 12 months ago. Is he the finished article in terms of how Moyes would like to mould a winger? Absolutely not. Like I said, if Moyes could clone Jared Bowen for the other side of the pitch, it's what he would do tomorrow. That is the perfect David Moyes winger. Somebody that works so hard defensively. Defensively is perfect. That is what Moyes wants. Then if you can do something in the final third, bonus, happy days, that's what we're after. And Benrahma's too inconsistent for that. He switches off to defensively too much. It's not that he doesn't work hard defensively. I've seen him tracking players. I've seen him put tackles in the corner flag. I've seen him do the defensive work. It's just doing it for 90 minutes. It is difficult. He does switch off at times where he just watches the ball and these right backs disappear. We've all seen it. But this season I do genuinely feel, in terms of his productivity, in terms of him being unselfish, I think he's come on leaps and bounds in that final third. Honestly, I do. I think this season, I think he's got much, much better at it. But regardless, at the end of the day, I go back to the question I asked at the start. Who's one of the most likely players to score against Wolves next week? Saïd Benrahma. Who's one of the most likely players to create something against Wolves next week? Saïd Benrahma. But the problem is, who do you drop in order to play Benrahma in the team? But it has to be Thomas Souček. It absolutely has to be. Last night, he was poor. He was really... It was doing what Moyes usually relies on for the defensive side, and that it was non-existent. We need Benrahma in the team against Wolves. As simple as that, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, like I said, 2.5 years later, I still can't believe we're having these conversations. And you might think, well, you don't have to make this video. I agree with that. I don't, but I've chosen to. The reason I've chosen to do it is because it wound me up a bit last night. How long it came for him to come on. And when he came on, it justified two things. Benrahma's impact justified the fans wanting to see Saïd Benrahma. Because of course we do. We sit there and go, told you, look what you can do there, Moisey. That's why you should be playing Benrahma. Thank you very much. But what I also did was justify David Moyes leaving him on the bench. What Benrahma did justified David Moyes by saying, well, that's why I kept him on the bench, because I knew he could come on and make that impact. I knew he could come on and change the game. That's why he was on the bench. So despite us and Moyes having different opinions and different desires for Saïd Benrahma, we were both justified by what Benrahma did in 20 minutes against Brentford. It's wild how it happens, but that's how I see it anyway. I think Moyes will come away thinking I was right to play Benrahma on the bench. At this point, I am not confident Benrahma starts against Wolves, and that's why I'm making this video, because it worries me. It does. It worries me that we're going to see a very hard-working team start next week, which is Fornals on the left, Bowen on the right, Souček, Paqueta and Rice in the middle. We'll switch to a back four. It would be 4-3-3 again. But I think it would be the team that we saw against Leeds. I think it would be that starting 11. I'm just not confident Benrahma starts. And that's why I'm doing this video, I guess, because I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that our most attacking player at the minute, our best player attacking, likely won't start in what is a huge, huge game for West Ham next weekend. A huge game for Moyes as well, but a massive, massive game for West Ham. But I'm going to shut up. I hope you all enjoy your Sunday. Hope it's more positive than this video. But if you've enjoyed it, please do drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, leave your comments below. I do read them all. I've got a lot better replying, I think. But anyway, I'll be back later to see what you guys are saying. So get involved, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.